Alpha Kappa Sigma alumni chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated's Golden Conversations. Today we have Sora Georgia Johnson. Welcome to our show. How are you, Sora Johnson?
I'm fine, thank you, and thank you for having me.
All right, well, let's get into it. It's girl talk. The first question that I have for you is when did you fall in love with Sigma?
Oh, that's an easy one. It was December of 1979. I
Wow.
had just moved to Austin, Texas from Huntsville, Texas, and a friend of ours' daughter was being presented as a debutante by Sigma Gamma Rho sorority, which I knew nothing about at the time.
Okay.
We went to the ball, and there were 30 debutantes being presented that night. And among the escorts was Earl Campbell, the pro football player. And I saw all these beautiful young women dressed in these beautiful gowns and all the things that they were saying about them in their bios. They were upstanding young ladies who were intelligent, who were talented and gifted. And I saw these beautiful blue and gold gowns, that the sorors were wearing, and I was just like, "Who is this, and what organization is this?" So that's when I fell in love with the blue and gold.
Okay.
All right, my friend is a Delta, and I said to her, I said, "Who can I get in touch with to find out about this organization?" And she looked at me. She said, "No, you're gonna be a Delta." I'm like, "No, I want to check these people out first." And so she told me Lily Williams, which is one of our deceased sorors, who used to be the when you hear Sigma Gamma Rho debutante ball, her name was synonymous with that, Lily Swisher Williams. But anyway, so she said, "Well, okay, I'll let you talk to her, but you still gonna be a Delta." So I got a chance to meet her after the ball and introduce myself. And she then invited me over to her home like a couple of weeks later with other members of the chapter. And Mary Asher was one of those members who turned out to be my sponsor.
Oh,
In Denver. So she also let me borrow her history book, which was probably against the rules, but I brought it home and read it and did all those things. And I'm like, no, this is how I'm going. So I called my friend up because she had already been working with her chapter because the chapter in Huntsville had told them, about me and that they wanted them to continue the process here. So that we were. I said, well, you can just stop my intake. He was
with the
really
Delta?
me. But I'm going Sigma Gamma Rho if they will have me. So that's kind of my introduction and how I fell in love with Sigma.
Were you an undergrad or were you a graduate?
Grad, I was
Okay.
graduate. I'm a graduate of Jarvis Christian College in Hawkins, Texas, and it's a Christian school, and we didn't have Greek organizations on campus when I was going. Mhm.
Okay. Well, so I see that you have some pins placed upon
Yes,
you. Let's
yes,
talk
I
about.
do. Well, this pen, this medallion, actually, I don't know. Can you see my? It is my life member Southwestern Region medallion that they hung around my neck when I became life member number 345.
Wow.
This is my official life member pen right here.
Okay.
Look, it's kind of small, you can't see it. And then this is my ruby pen right here. And then this is just the poodle with the Sigma
So
initial,
when did you join Sigma Gamma Rho?
1985.
So your passion started in '79 and you joined in '85.
Exactly. And from the time to time, you run into people and I kept reading about it and talking to people and finally making my decision, because I was still having to fight off my Delta friend.
I totally understand. I have an aunt and a cousin, and we
Okay.
had to have a 2 week break when they found that my colors were blue and gold.
Right, right, right.
They had to take a moment. So
Yeah.
I love them dearly, and now they support me 100%.
That's
That
great. And
initial
she
shock.
does too. We remain good friends,
Yeah.
through it all. Yeah.
So the other question that I have for you is let's talk about your Sigma journey, right?
Okay.
What drives you in Sigma right now?
Well, actually, what drives me and keeps me going are the images of our seven founders.
Hmm.
Um, these courageous young women, I think about them trying to earn their master's degrees at an all white university in the home of the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I think what amazing women they were. And being that is my profession as well. I mean, it was just amazing. The second thing that drives me is getting an opportunity to meet the last living founder, and that's Vivian White, Sarah Vivian White Marbury, at the 75th anniversary at Butler University.
Wow.
Yes, we were there for the 75th, and they brought her to our closing ceremony, and she was just so regal and so frail all at the same time. When it was time to sing the hymn, she made the sorrows stand her up. And
Mm.
there was a sorrow on each side of her supporting her because she said, "You don't ever sit down on the hymn."
Oh,
And honey, let me tell you, that was the most moving experience ever. We got a chance to walk around after we sung our hymn, and we made this huge circle. And we
mm,
got a chance just to walk by and say hello to her. We couldn't shake her hand or touch her because she was just too frail.
right.
But there was not a dry eye in the house. Let me
I
tell
guess
you.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. What a,
You still seeing chills up my spine right now.
yes.
And so I think about them uh, all the time. Anytime you get down, you get disgusted or you get upset about something, and I think about what it must have been like for them. And if
Right.
they could weather that storm, and then between getting their masters, then organize a sorority, which became the fourth female component of the Divine Nine. So I just think about them, and whatever's upsetting me, I'm like, okay, Sigma is bigger than all of us.
It
Okay.
is. So you brought up your profession. What is your profession?
I am a retired high school principal.
Okay.
I retired in 2005 after 35 years in
Right.
education. So
Okay.
that's the
So
route I took to.
I know that you are a key player in the NEF.
Yes, my actually my service to the organization. I've held every office in the chapter.
Really?
Okay, president I've been president. The only office I didn't hold was anti-boxers. I don't know how I passed that up, but president, recording secretary, the anti-grammatius, the grammatius, the tamiokas. I mean, I've done all of that. On the regional level, I served as sergeant at arms. I've served as the chair of the nominating committee and elections committee. And then I was elected in 1996 to be the trustee, NEF trustee for the Southwestern region. And I served in that position from 1996 to 2012, 16 years. Then the NEF, there's a special honor that they bestow on trustees who have served the organization well, and you become a fund fellow then for life. Uh, then I had to pause that. That was in 2012 to 2018. So I had to pause that because then a regional director, LaShonda Johnson, appointed me in 2018 to complete Sarah Hiller's term because she had been appointed the trustee because Sarah Karen Williams stepped down when she became the centennial co-chair. It was just a bit much for her to handle. And
Right.
so Sarah Hiller was going to try to fill in for her, but then Sarah Hiller started having some family issues and ultimately lost some family members. So then Sarah Johnson said, "Well, since you've been out, NEF up and down, just go ahead and can will you serve this term?" So I said, "Okay." And then in 2020, the NEF created a new trustee position called trustee at large. So I
So
happen to be, okay, go
let
ahead.
me pause you for 1 second. When
Okay.
we speak NEF, for those in our virtual land that are watching, can
Okay.
you explain
Yes.
exactly what NEF is?
NEF is the National Education Fund Incorporated. It is a 501c arm of Sigma Gamma Rho sorority national organization. Our main focus is awarding scholarships and providing funds for educational activities that the sororities, the chapters might choose to do. Annually, we give out scholarships on an annual basis every year.
Okay.
Uh, we have given over $1 million in scholarships since our existence. We were founded in 1984,
Okay. So
and
you've
so
been there for pretty much all of it.
well, not quite. I started in '96, but I've been there ever since. So,
Okay.
uh, and I'm currently was elected the financial secretary, which was a position that was not there. When organizations start out young, you don't have to have as many officers because you don't have as much to do. But
Right.
the organization Sigma Gamma Rho National organization has grown, over the years, and each graduate member pays a $7 annual fee to the fund to
Right.
support the giving of scholarships. And so our sorority has grown, and the number of sorors has grown. And so there was a need to have an additional person to help the Tammy Yost, because the treasurer couldn't, she couldn't do both jobs. It got to be too much. And so that's when I came on board as the financial secretary, and I've been doing that for the last 2 years.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Well, that's a lot. And I know that girls, is it co-ed or is it only for young girls?
Oh no, it's co-ed, interracial. We every ethnic group. We do not discriminate against anyone.
Okay.
Anyone can apply for the scholarships and be awarded a scholarship.
So is that something dear to you, or is that something that just kind of happened upon you?
The NEF.
Hmm.
Well, actually, I really wanted to do the job. One of the Saras who was serving in that position approached me and said, "Well, since you're an educator, I really have done my time on there, and I really am wanting to not do it any longer. But I thought about you might be a good person to do it." And so that's kind of how I got into it. And you're right, I do love it because you get a chance, the applications, you get a chance to read some of the most outstanding things that these kids are doing, and you know that the future is safe
Yeah,
and with them. Yeah.
I am big with the youth, if you know me.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
um, so my final question is, take a moment.
Okay.
If you had to explain in 1 minute or less why someone should join Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated,
Mhm.
what would you tell her?
I would say Sigma Gamma Rho is an illustrious sisterhood that embodies the soul of our and the spirit of our ancestors and the seven founders of Sigma Gamma Rho sorority, because we strive to empower young women to reach their fullest potential and to use their gifts to give back to the communities that they reside in. Hence our motto: greater service, greater progress. Yes, ma'am.
So, before we go any further, Sword Georgia, you mentioned earlier in our conversation about the debutante ball. I know personally that you have firsthand knowledge of the debutante ball. So when you saw it in '85 to now, tell us a little bit about your experience with the debutante ball.
Well, actually, the soror that I told you I met, who chaired the ball all those years, Soror Lily Swisher Williams. Once I joined the organization, she kind of took me under her wing and said, "I need some help." And so she started teaching me the ropes of the debutante ball. And so when her health could no longer allow her to do it, then I was appointed the chair of the ball. And I've done that since probably, I would say, around 1992 or so.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've done that along with Sarah Mary Ashford, Sarah Jocelyn Rollins is also we have co-chaired the ball together, but that is the signature event for Sigma Gamma Rho, and in Austin, whenever you say debutante, they know that it is Sigma Gamma Rho.
Yes.
We also were invited to hold a display at the Carver Museum. We had a display of all of the past, past and present debutantes, and we had gowns. We had all kinds of paraphernalia from the time, the time period that it has been, and it was really well received by the Austin community. Uh, Debutantes are, to me, it's I know it's a Southern tradition, started way back, and it was when young women were presented to society, and that means that these young women are young women who are before they're going off to college generally. We have scaled it back to juniors and seniors now, so we do get juniors in every now and then. But at the original, you had to be a senior. Back in the day, you had to be a senior or getting ready to go to just finished up your first semester at college. And the idea was that you wanted to try to present them before they left home and went to college and went out into the world.
Yes.
But it's an opportunity for us to showcase our talented young women to Austin community. And you never know who's sitting in the audience.
Right.
And they get a chance to see these outstanding young women, and it's a way for them to also network. And there have been, lots of success with our debutantes. We have also done generations of families because we've done it since 1946, and so it is the one of the highlights of the community. They look forward to it every other December. Mm-hmm.
And I know also we have a soror in our chapter who was one of the first debutantes.
Yes, Laura Naomi Brown.
Yes.
Yeah,
I look forward to meeting.
She was at our last ball, and we got a chance to present her with roses. And yeah, she is still around, and we're so excited. Yeah.
I look forward to interviewing her and
her
brain and getting some good juice.
Yes, that's going to be a great interview.
Yes, I'm excited. Mm-hmm. So, with the debutante ball, it's for someone who maybe is hearing this for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a presentation of young girls to society.
Correct.
Is it based off ethnicity? What does that look like for someone who has never heard of a debutante?
No, we've had all ethnic groups. It originally started out as all Black, because that's our sorority. We're a Black organization, but over time, people have seen it, and because they saw it, they might have been a guest of someone at the ball, decided they wanted their daughter to do it. They didn't care, who was putting it on, because of the experience that the daughter received from it. So yeah, we've had Anglo young ladies, we've had mixed race young ladies, we've had Hispanic young ladies. So yeah.
And each organization, even in different cultures, some have heard of a quinceañera, some have heard of cotillion, but Sigma Gamma Rho's signature is a debutante ball.
Correct.
You have heard it here. Greater service, greater progress. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Soror Georgia Johnson, thank you so much for sharing those golden nuggets with us. Stay tuned for our next golden conversations.
Thank you.